Hi, Wolfpack fans. I'm Jeff Gravely.
I'm Tony Haynes.
And I'm Matt Chasnow.
And this is Pulse of the Pack. I'm Jeff Gravely along with Matt Chasnow. Matt, this was a conversation in the Kevin Keats radio show on Monday. What's the shelf life of Happy New Year?
Oh, I think it's a metric.
By the way, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I think it's a litmus test and a metric for one, Tony Haynes, occasionally just a touch grumpy, just a touch, just a skosh. You know, he gets a Happy New Year 4 days late, doesn't love it. That's one. He and Larry David are kindred spirits in that way, okay? And he'll say that, right? I don't mean to talk behind Tony's back. I've said this to his face, and he's said it to mine, all right? And then two, if you're super friendly and affable, extend it. Push it back. Let's go another few days here.
Another observation from the recording of the radio show on Monday, we had a little freezing rain going in. Chaz shows up in a short sleeve t-shirt, so I'm glad you got a coat on today. I know you came from Washington State, where out in Pullman it snowed and was blizzardy all the time, but man, come on.
So what was it? It was 45 and rainy maybe? That's summer, okay, in the Arctic, all right? When you're in the tundra and there's no ice actively hitting you in your soul, then you may go short sleeves occasionally. All right. I did wear a jacket in fairness.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You know, you turn the calendar to a new year, sometimes you start projects. You figure out, okay, I need to declutter here. I might paint a room. I think NC State men's basketball has a few projects that they need to work on. What would you consider kind of an number one area that they need to try to improve on, if not fix?
The infirmary. I think you got to go get the guys healthy. They probably win in Charlottesville with Ben Middlebrooks, and that puts you at 2-1 in the ACC with a road win. Road wins are really hard to come by anytime, and no matter how good you are. And then, and I think you want to get Mike James healthy. You know, I think you're missing a key portal get. He was a really nice player for Louisville. We've never seen him integrate fully into this. We saw him a little bit before they shelved him for his knee in way back, almost like the summer when he first got here. And so the team's missing 10 to 15 points a game.
How good has Breon Pass been, and how rare is it to have a returner like that, like a veteran guy? Is he maybe not hesitant to shoot, but you got to tell him maybe, hey, it's okay to let it fly? Is it a green light for him?
Well, he's been really good offensively, and I know obviously we want to have a positive show about that, but I'm on everybody today about
defense.
Him to guard. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
getting guard, and it is good to see the ball go in for him and him to be able to make shots, and he's shooting a great over 50% from three, which is really good. But in order to stay on the floor, we need Breon and the rest of the guys to give us something on the other end.
Breon 15 to 28 from three. That's 53.6%. Pretty impressive. He played his 100th career game on Saturday, and all 100 have been in the same uniform. How about that?
Yeah, so the stat is there are 5 guys in the league that will have started and ended their career with the same team. Yeah. 5 guys in the ACC, which is kind of amazing in itself.
Yep.
Breon Pass is one of them.
Wolfpack still waiting on Louisville transfer Mike James, a proven ACC player, but he has not yet suited up for NC State this season. In your postgame presser, Kevin, at Wake the other day, you were asked about Mike James, and you said he had finally gotten to the point where he could do some things, but now he ran into another obstacle.
Yeah, he's not feeling well, and obviously we're going to get him to the doctor this morning just to check on him. And Mike's a good player, and he's had a very positive attitude about everything. I know, probably a little frustration building up from the outside, but there's nobody more frustrated than him. And he's had some bad luck, and I can tell you now, I don't care what people think about it, I'm always going to take care of my players and make sure that they're in the best health that they can be in, because that's important to me.
When you were building a roster over the course of the summer and you're bringing in those guys, you have a blueprint for what you think the team can be. And I go back to what I said about Mike James. He proved himself to be a very good ACC player at Louisville. He could shoot the ball a little bit, but his absence really altered that blueprint you put together?
It's changed us. I mean, we recruited Mike to be a combination of DJ Horn and Casey Morcell. Not both of those guys separately, but he's a proven guy in his couple years in college. He's got great size, can shoot the three. It's around a 12, 13-point a game guy. And it changes us. Obviously, I don't want to make an excuse about that, but when you recruit a guy and you certainly would love to get him on the floor, he's had some bad luck, but we thought he would be a big part of this year's team, and hopefully he will be at some point.
How hard is it to reintegrate guys who've been out for a while? You've got minutes rotations, you got guys just trying to get fit, trying to get their endurance built back up. Eventually, should he come back at whatever point that might be, he's trying to do on what timeline, or is it different for every guy?
I think it's different for everyone, and it depends on who you are and how much you need the basketball to be successful, to help the team. And, so it'll be a little bit different. Obviously there's a conditioning thing, there's a in-practice thing, then there's a game situation. But I think it's different for everyone.
Pulse of the Pack is sponsored in part by Coca-Cola. Crisp, refreshing, and irresistibly tasty. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
It's the Get Holiday Ready sales event with the Ford crew.
Maverick, Ranger.
Another truckload of trucks?
Big event needs a big selection. Right, like the Ford F-Series. Best-selling trucks for 47 years. Gas, hybrid, electric, and big selection means great deals. Exactly, which means it's the best time to buy. Well said, Sam.
Get 1.9 for $60 plus up to $6,500 total savings on a 2024 Ford F-150 hybrid.
Mr. Wolf, you're all set. Complete perimeter protection installed and monitored 24/7.
No matter who you root for, we can all identify with the best in smart home security. CPI Security is the official security and smart home company of NC State Athletics. CPI Security. Identify yourself.
From protecting your teeth and gums, to restoring your smile, to sponsoring your local team, Tar Heel Periodontics is the premier periodontal practice of the Triangle community. Our team of highly skilled doctors provide dental care as individual as you are, working with you to build a personalized treatment plan to create the beautiful, healthy smile of your dreams. With offices conveniently located across the Triangle and Central North Carolina, you're never far from the Tar Heel Periodontics family. Visit our website or call now.
This segment of Pulse of the Pack is presented by Coca-Cola.
You're 8-6. You almost beat Texas after a slow start. You're down 9-0, and you have the Longhorns on the ropes at home. You probably should have had it. And then you did everything right against Virginia, except win the game. And you're up 14 late in the second half. You're probably not going to go on the road and blow them out. And so they throw their punch back. They go up by 12. You fight all the way back, right? Obviously, the adjustment they made, credit to them. They went inside to Saunders, packed in that Middlebrooks, worked out really well. Chip away at it. You're down by 3 with 4 seconds left. Get the free throw miss you need, and
O'Connell has a shot.
O'Connell has a shot. I know, it's unbelievable. Didn't go down, and so Lightning didn't strike twice. We'll wait for the ACC tournament for that to happen. And if you win up both those ball games, no, I don't want to excuse. They're 8-6, and that's not where they want to be. And the sky has not fallen, and there's a lot of time left. And listen, we knew this would take a while. That was from. Let's go back to podcast, whatever number it was, whenever we first started talking ball, and you and me and Tony. We went to practice, we took a peek, and we thought, it's going to take a little bit of time. And Coach Keats goes, yeah, it's going to take a little bit of time. And here we are. It's taking some time.
I think the other thing too that kind of go hand in hand, you look at in the 7 losses that they had up to the new year and the first game into the new year, the 7 losses, they averaged 52 points. That puts a lot of pressure on your defense. And Monday in the show, Coach Keats could not talk any more or put any more emphasis on the need to improve defensively on a consistent basis. I think that's one area that they have to improve on.
Well, Coach, I know you have some New Year's resolutions, and number one on the list, getting this team headed in the right direction. What are the top items on your wish list right now?
Well, I think we got to get back to defending. I think we're giving up too many points, and teams are scoring in a variety of ways. And I didn't think in the 2 games that we played on the road, Virginia and Wake Forest, I didn't think our defense traveled. What I mean is I didn't think we were very good. I thought, we would certainly play better offensively at UVA, but defensively, I didn't think we were good in the second half. And one of the biggest things with this group right here is trying to, get us up to no team's going to play great for 40 minutes, but right now we're playing a good 20 minutes of basketball, and we got to extend that to 30, then to 35, then to 37, and have those 3 minutes where you just may not play well. But right now we're at 20. We got to get it up.
I'm struck by how high the top end quality is. Like the game against Rider, I know that's weeks ago now, and we don't want to dwell on it, but at moments, right, you're down big in Winston-Salem, you come right back. You cut a big deficit down to single digits before halftime. You did it in Charlottesville in the first half. That's about as good a ball. We thought the bullseye was Rider, but the bullseye might be the first half at UVA. I mean, that's as good as any team's going to play.
Fun to watch.
Yeah, we have to figure out how to stop spotting points, and it becomes a segment of every game. And that's probably about a 5 to 6 or 7 minute stretch where, we start the UVA game, we're playing well. We start the second half, we play well. Then there's a 10-minute stretch where we don't, and then obviously they're back in the game. When you look at Wake Forest, they scored 9 out of their first 11 possessions. Mm-hmm. And Wake Forest was kind of similar to the way we played at Kansas. You think about that now. We're down 15. We're down 15 at halftime. It's 6 in an 8-point game. But what happens is when you have to spend so much energy trying to come back from that deficit, it's always, you're always playing catch up. Even if you catch up and take the lead, you have really struggled to get back there. It takes so much energy to get there. And so we've got to do a better job of not giving stretches where we're just not very good.
Virginia in the second half shoots 56%. Wake comes out and shoots 58% in the second half. So that's back-to-back second halves giving up a high shooting percentage. Any common threads that you see between those 2 halves of basketball?
Well, it appears that when we have some adversity, this version right here, we struggle defensively. And what happens is when we are not scoring the basketball, we have to be better and be a little bit more stingy where we don't let the other team score. That's what our teams have done in the past. That's what good teams do. You're not going to always score the ball because there's going to be some game planning that goes against you. But we're giving up too many, blow-bys. Our ball screen coverage at Wake wasn't very good. We have to get better and more stingy and have a little grit about us on the defensive end in order for us to be successful. And those are things that we're going to continue to work on. Those are things that we're going to get better. As a group, it's a mindset. Like our mindset has to, everybody in today's game loves to score. When you look at our team, somebody on this team, and I have to push and develop somebody. Somebody's got to have that hard hat to be a defensive guy to set the tone for everybody else. Right now, we don't have a tone setter. When you look at it, Jarkel Joyner was a tone setter. He knew how to sit down and defend. Casey was a really steady guy who defended multiple positions, who did a really good job. We don't have that tone setter. We asked Jaden Taylor to be it coming in, and he's had some good games defensively, but he hasn't been a tone setter. And somebody has to say, hey, come on, guys, and let's get tougher on the court. Let's do some things, and we're going to figure that out. Like, we're going to figure out some guys that can really do that because we're losing games because our defense is not where we need it to be at this point.
All right, Mr. Wolf, you're all set. Complete perimeter protection installed and monitored 24/7.
No matter who you root for, we can all identify with the best in smart home security. CPI Security is the official security and smart home company of NC State Athletics. CPI Security. Identify yourself.
It's the Get Holiday Ready sales event with the Ford crew.
Maverick, Ranger.
Another truckload of trucks?
Big event needs a big selection. Right, like the Ford F-Series. Best-selling trucks for 47 years. Gas, hybrid, electric, and big selection means great deals. Exactly, which means it's the best time to buy. Well said, Sam.
Get 1.9 for 60 plus up to 6,500 total savings on a 2024 Ford F-150 hybrid.
From protecting your teeth and gums, to restoring your smile, to sponsoring your local team, Tar Heel Periodontics is the premier periodontal practice of the Triangle community. Our team of highly skilled doctors provide dental care as individual as you are, working with you to build a personalized treatment plan to create the beautiful, healthy smile of your dreams. With offices conveniently located across the Triangle and Central North Carolina, you're never far from the Tar Heel Periodontics family. Visit our website or call now.
Let's talk about the ACC. You said the ACC's had a down start. First of all, there's no doubt. The bottom of the ACC is softer than it has been, and maybe the top doesn't quite have as many golden geese.
Maybe one or two.
Duke and Clemson's been really good.
Pittsburgh's looked good.
Pittsburgh's had a nice year. Now, Clemson and Pittsburgh don't conjure up national histories that some of the other powers that be do, so you start to get beat up there. But I lived this a little bit out west. I lived this with the Pac. Everyone would go, oh, Pac basketball's down. If UCLA is an undefeated, Pac basketball's bad. If you got a national, well, USC is historically actually not really a great basketball program. They had a really nice run with Andy Enfield, but historically speaking, well, if USC's your best team, and very famously or memorably out west, they got snubbed as the number 2 team in the Pac standings from the dance, and Andy Enfield flipped out. Now he's in the ACC. He's in Dallas at SMU. One of the things that I think has gone on, though, that's not being talked about enough, and this is not to discredit that it's been a slow start, I want to be clear. The Big Ten and the SEC expanded, as did the ACC, but they took teams that have been dancing. So the number of bids they're going to get, of course, is going to go up. Oregon went to the Final Four in 2017. UCLA is in the Big Ten now. USC has had its golden era of basketball, by all accounts. I mean, this has been the best they've been over the last 10 years. Stanford and Cal and SMU, they don't help right now. And they might in the future, and Stanford has had its eras. But when you look at just number of bids and projections right now, those other leagues are inflated. The Big 12's had a really nice run over the last few years. Well, the teams they've added have been in the tourney. Houston has been great. Actually, UCF has danced a couple of times lately. Yeah. So it's too small. It's a little frustrating in some ways because it's like, oh, the ACC. It is, but it's accentuated in an odd year in some ways with some of these added schools. Like, it's like the old-time Big Ten rivalry matchup between Oregon and UCLA. Like, wait a minute. I don't want to hear about that either. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what it also does, too, and to your point, is it really, like, if you're searching for a quad 1 win in the ACC, it is hard to get one. First of all, are you playing a quad 1 game? Because once you start to get to a certain point in the ACC, there are so many teams in the hundreds in the net rankings that it's hard to get anything but a quad 4 or quad 3. So you have a harder time moving up in the net. Whereas you're right, you take the SEC with all of the powerful teams that it has, and then all of a sudden you can get a quad 1 or a quad 2 win a little easier than you can in the ACC.
You're right. Once the non-conference goes away and the net rankings are there, things start to become self-fulfilling prophecies and frustrating. It's hard to climb up once you're down in the league because you just play each other. And so the non-conference in that way is really important. But look, if NC State rips off a great January, February, and March and goes to the Sweet 16 and Duke goes to the Sweet 16 and so does Clemson, and the Big Ten and the SEC each get 2, then what are we talking about? It's January 7th. And so in that regard, a lot of this should be judged in March. Syracuse is not having the year it wants. Miami not having the year it wants. Virginia Tech certainly not having the year it wants. There are teams that are down, and I don't mean to shove back on any of that, right? But I think I guess in the end, to be more succinct about it, although we've got the podcast platform, so we don't need to be.
Keep going.
It's about judging it in March on the back end. And how does one judge a league? Is the West Coast Conference the best league in America because Gonzaga has been fantastic? No, it hasn't been. Gonzaga has been fantastic. St. Mary's and San Francisco have been really nice programs. They've been good. BYU was in the West Coast Conference, been doing a nice job. But Big 12 historic power BYU now is going to probably be in the tournament or fight for it. And I guess what I'm saying is it's too early. It's too early.
I think another thing too, and we kind of knew this going in, I don't think you can expect just because you have the run that NC State did last year and you win an ACC championship and you go to the Final Four, that you're just going to reload and do it again. Let's look at who they lost. They lost DJ Horn, they lost DJ Burns, they lost Casey Morsell, they lost Mo Diarra. Those are 4 starters with a lot of college experience. You can't just sweep that under the rug, expect a plug and play, and here you are, you're ready to make that run again.
It's a heck of a reload. That's a lot to reload. That's a lot of bullets out of that chamber.
Mm-hmm.
And special players, like historically special players, that gelled late. And everybody who was observing it, as I was from afar, knew the makeup, right, of the roster, especially O'Connell and Horn from the West Coast, and you look at those guys as West Coast transfers and you go, well, it's going to maybe take a little time. Well, it did.
Pulse of the Pack is sponsored in part by Carolina Ford Dealers. See your Carolina Ford dealer, proud sponsor of NC State Athletics.
It's the Get Holiday Ready sales event with the Ford crew.
Maverick, Ranger.
Another truckload of trucks?
Big event needs big selection. Right, like the Ford F-Series. Best-selling trucks for 47 years. Gas, hybrid, electric, and big selection means great deals. Exactly, which means it's the best time to buy. Well said, Sam.
Get 1.9 for $60 plus up to $6,500 total savings on a 2024 Ford F-150 hybrid.
From protecting your teeth and gums, to restoring your smile, to sponsoring your local team, Tar Heel Periodontics is the premier periodontal practice of the Triangle community. Our team of highly skilled doctors provide dental care as individual as you are, working with you to build a personalized treatment plan to create the beautiful, healthy smile of your dreams. With offices conveniently located across the Triangle and Central North Carolina, you're never far from the Tar Heel Periodontics family. Visit our website or call now.
Mr. Wolf, you're all set. Complete perimeter protection installed and monitored 24/7.
No matter who you root for, we can all identify with the best in smart home security. CPI Security is the official security and smart home company of NC State Athletics. CPI Security. Identify yourself.
Pulse of the Pack is sponsored in part by Coca-Cola. Crisp, refreshing, and irresistibly tasty. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
Let's transition to football. And obviously the big news was the dismissal of Robert Anae and the internal promotion of Kurt Roper to offensive coordinator. This is not the first time Kurt Roper has been an offensive coordinator. And he's a well-respected coordinator. I think he's earned this opportunity. I can't say enough for what he did this year to transition C.J. Bailey from a true freshman quarterback to a starting quarterback and having the year that he had.
I love watching coaches like Kurt Roper coach. Like when we're at practice, it's fun to watch him get specific and coach CJ Bailey hard. And it's fun to watch the improvement then week to week, and I think we saw that. I think CJ Bailey got better every game. If I'm CJ Bailey and I'm CJ Bailey's people, I would want Eli Manning and Thaddeus Lewis as coaching my guy. And that's what Kurt Roper is.
Well, on the defensive side, they knew they were going to have to replace Tony Gibson, and they do with DJ Elliott. That's 1L, 1T. And by the way, the last 2 DJs that joined the pack turned out to be pretty well, in Horn and Burns. So maybe it'll apply to football.
Well, things happen in threes.
Sure.
I like that.
He came from Baylor, where he was an advisor, but he's been a defensive coordinator before at many, many places across the country.
Yeah, Kentucky, Colorado, Kansas, Temple. Was the linebackers coach for the Philadelphia Eagles, then was in Waco.
I'm anxious to see what kind of modification they make defensively. The bottom line is they want to get better defensively, is something from this year, where it was an atypical year for NC State. And I'm really excited for another move that happened in Gavin Locklear getting an opportunity to now coach the tight ends. All you got to do is go to a practice and you notice Gavin Locklear.
Talk about coaching hard.
He coaches hard.
Yeah.
And he's a guy who wasn't the most talented guy at Apex High School. Their program wasn't very good, but he found a way as a walk-on to NC State and then found a way to contribute as a wide receiver. He's kind of done the same thing in the coaching ranks, and I was so glad to see him get rewarded with an opportunity to be on staff full-time.
Earned his scholarship in 2016. Walk on to scholarship. Everybody loves that story. Hopefully that story can continue as these rosters evolve.
One more piece of football talk. And I'll put this under the category of, I can do that. A recent video surfaced, kind of a collaboration between DK Kaufman, Davin Vann, and gymnastics. Now, we saw how athletic Vann and Kaufman are doing flips, but can you do it in gymnastics? It's a little different thing. Hilarious video.
It's great.
It was fantastic to see, and I'll tell you what, they did pretty well.
I'm DK, I'm Davin. I know y'all seen us flipping after the UNC game, but today we came out with the Wolfpack Gymnastics team and got busy.
Let's go! That'll be doable. Yeah, the foam pit.
Oh man, she talking about a layout. I don't know about all that. That's fine, I can do it.
Round off?
Yeah, I just got to choose what I got to do. I'm going to do it, yeah. I'm going to listen.
Let's go up there. We'll do it.
Yeah, we can do it.
Get your knee all the way up here. That's what you got to remember to do.
I never learned the details. I just was winging it.
Go on your toes.
Watch her double back.
Because the arms is the most important.
So before we start every practice, we get in a big circle, and like the whole team has to do sticks.
All right. That's probably like 9-9. Forget the flips. That's the most impressive thing I've seen all day. Y'all showed me a whole new light of gymnastics. I respect y'all way more. Make sure y'all come out to see the Wolfpack Gymnastics team.
I think so much respect was gained for what the gymnasts go through.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Pack Gymnastics is a great program. By the way, the ACC has had 2 years in which they have sponsored gymnastics. 1984, 2024, and NC State won the title both years.
Wow.
So they're back at it now. I encourage you to come to Reynolds Coliseum and check out the gymnastics squad.
DK Kaufman doing a full split. I thought that was one, impressive, but two, also instructive to some degree. If guys were that flexible, I think you can avoid injury.
I'm a little in pain now, and we're going to flip on out of here.
Let's do it.
So, Chaz, appreciate your time.